The president of the United States, Donald Trump, appeared to suffer a sudden psychotic break on Truth Social, where he is crossing some very, very dangerous lines. Let's discuss. There is a lot of substance here, and we start with vaccines. Donald Trump putting out on Truth Social the following. My Truth Social button didn't work. I'll have to fix that. Okay, quote. Today, the Trump administration is proud to announce the United States of America's updated childhood vaccination schedule. This schedule is rooted in the gold standard of science and widely agreed upon by scientists and experts all over the world. Here we go. Effective today, America will no longer require 72 jabs for our beautiful, healthy children. We are moving to a far more reasonable schedule where all children will only be recommended to receive vaccinations for 11 of the most serious and dangerous diseases. Parents can still choose to give their children all of the vaccinations if they wish, and they will still be covered by insurance. However, this updated schedule finally aligns the U.S. with other developed nations around the world. Congratulations to Bobby Kennedy and a whole bunch of other people, especially the Maha moms, who have been praying for these common sense reforms. Okay, so the U.S. childhood vaccination schedule does not require 72 shots. This is an old anti-vaccine trick, which is you count every dose. And even if you get a combination vaccine, like for example, if you get the DTaP vaccine, which is for 4 conditions, and that requires it requires a booster, so 2 shots. They're saying that that's 8 shots when it's really 2. Okay, this is the game that they play. Sometimes to get to 72, they include annual flu shots. They go, well, let's add 18 because from age 0 to 18, a kid also gets 18 flu shots. This is how they come up with this number. It's ridiculous, okay? The reality is that the childhood vaccination schedule in the U.S. recommends, none of this is required. Now, there may be school districts that say to come to our school, you've got to have these, but the recommendation is for about 14 diseases. The vast majority are combo shots, so you don't get as many jabs as Trump likes to call them. There is not a country on earth where kids routinely get 72 injections, okay? That's been debunked by pediatricians. It's been debunked by epidemiologists. The CDC has debunked it. Now, Trump also posted a graphic implying that Europe vaccinates less than the United States. That's also misleading. Most European countries are vaccinating against the exact same diseases on a similar schedule. The difference is that they might do different timing, different bundling, or different delivery. They are not rejecting vaccines. And by the way, many European countries have higher vaccination rates than the United States, even despite vaccinating against roughly the same childhood diseases. So Trump is cherry picking to try to make anti-vax look like the international consensus. Second post from Trump, quote, pregnant women do not use Tylenol unless absolutely necessary. Don't give Tylenol to your young child for virtually any reason. Break up the MMR shot into 3 separate shots. Take the chickenpox shot separately. Take hepatitis B shot at 12 years old or older. And importantly, take vaccine in 5 separate medical visits. Okay, I want to focus on Tylenol. Just as a side note, Trump keeps recommending get the MMR separately. Go and get measles, go and get mumps, go and get rubella. By the way, that would require 6 shots because each of those requires a second dose. That's wild. But most importantly, those aren't available in the United States. I spoke to my pediatrician friends about this. I said, if someone comes in and they say, give me just measles today, let me come back for mumps in a month. They don't have that. That's not a product that is available. It's just the MMR. Put that aside. Let's talk about Tylenol. Tylenol is not risk-free. Nothing is risk-free, okay? High doses of Tylenol persistently can cause liver damage. Overdosing from Tylenol or the underlying drug acetaminophen is a leading cause of acute liver failure in the United States. There have been scientific debates about acetaminophen during pregnancy, including studies that look at outcomes. The studies do not show causation. The studies do not justify any blanket warning. Now, when Trump goes, unless absolutely necessary, that should be the case for every medication. I know people, this is like a kind of popular thing in Argentina, I hate to admit. A lot of people in Argentina, they're sort of on like a regimen of either Tylenol or Advil. And I don't think it makes any sense, but it's like kind of a weird thing that I don't know culturally what's going on. I know a lot of people in Argentina who are like, yeah, I take 2 Tylenol every day, like for the last 20 years. That doesn't sound to me like it is absolutely necessary. Any drug should only be taken when necessary in discussion with your doctor. That's not special. But the medical guidance still suggests that Tylenol is the preferred pain and fever reducer during pregnancy. You always use the lowest effective dose. Untreated fever itself can be dangerous, so you do want to treat that. Now, Trump ignores all of that, and he leans on the distrust of pharmaceutical companies. Now, I'll be the first to tell you, I recently read a book about Johnson & Johnson. Tylenol, Johnson & Johnson, originally a Johnson & Johnson drug. I think they might have, shifted it around to a subsidiary now or done legal maneuvering with it. But Tylenol is often praised for how it handled the 1980s cyanide poisoning crisis, where an individual poisoned some Tylenol before there was tamper-proof packaging with cyanide. And people often go, oh, Johnson & Johnson responded so well. The truth is that Johnson & Johnson did not respond that well. There is reason to believe that they knew the intermediate supplier through which the tainted Tylenol was coming, that they did not announce that publicly. They were slow to respond. There was a whole crisis. Johnson & Johnson, as the manufacturer of Tylenol, is not without an ugly history. And that applies not just to Tylenol, that applies to baby powder. There's a whole bunch of stuff, okay? But if we're going to be serious about Tylenol and you're going to start putting out all caps medical recommendations to people, you've got to acknowledge ibuprofen is often not recommended during pregnancy. You've got to frame the risk versus benefit. You've got to explain that this is the preferred and safest drug, often in pregnancy, for reducing fever. I believe you're not supposed to give babies, I don't know if it's up until age 1 or 2 that you're not supposed to give ibuprofen. It's the acetaminophen that is the safer option. So Trump's not giving health advice. He's not contextualizing this with nuance and medical information. He is just saying, don't do it. I'm the president. I'm orange, and I'm telling you what to do, even though he has no business doing that. Fear dressed up as concern that can get people to do things they really shouldn't be doing. Most scammers rely on information that's already public. Your name, address, phone number, family connections, a lot of that is online and available to be scraped and abused. Our sponsor, Incogni, reduces the risk by removing you from the internet wherever that personal data appears. It works across many types of websites, not just one category. So scammers have fewer ways to piece things together about you. Incogni automatically submits removal requests to hundreds of sites on your behalf. But the standout feature is custom removals, where you find your information on any website, even one not in their database. You paste the link and Incogni's team will get to work to remove it. I can tell you, I've personally been getting way fewer scam and spam calls and messages ever since I started using Incogni. You can accomplish a lot quickly with Incogni. Protect yourself before your data is used against you. Get 60% off when you go to incogni.com/Pakman and use the code Pakman. The link is in the description.